What is a hero? To me, it's an individual who puts service before self, a person who dedicates their life to helping others. Heroes come in many forms: firefighters, police officers, first responders, and our brave troops. They are the selfless men and women who serve their neighbors, communities, and this amazing country we call America. I'm Dan Bald. I served my country in the United States Air Force. Then I spent 25 years serving the neighbors and communities I lived in by telling their stories. Now I'm on a new mission in life, traveling the country, discovering what fuels these heroes' minds, bodies, and souls. Fire in the hole! This is Hungry Heroes. On this edition of Hungry Heroes, we're heading up to the mountains, the Cleveland National Forest in Southern California to be exact, in search of a small hilltop village named Julian, a town that looks like it's been frozen in time. In fact, the town of Julian is actually registered as an official California historical landmark, making it a very trendy tourism spot known for their apple pies and festivals. We've come to Julian in search of a different breed of hero this time, the conservationists that make up the California Wolf Center. Because as we've discovered on this show, not all heroes wear capes, badges, or uniforms. Some, like the men and women who work and volunteer at the Wolf Center, go completely unnoticed, but are doing heroic acts by actually helping to save an entire species. We'll explain how the Mexican gray wolf, which plays a vital role in keeping our ecosystem in check, was on the verge of extinction until the folks at the California Wolf Center and other nonprofits stepped up and began breeding and protecting them. But before I roll up my sleeves and they put me to work at the center, you know I gotta eat. And while Julian is known for their homemade pies, I was informed that being Italian, I had to stop by a place that's been owned by the same family for 3 generations. Woo! Alrighty. I am so happy to be in this charming, quaint little town of Julian, California. Talked to our friends at the California Wolf Center, which we're going to meet tomorrow, along with the wolves, and they said one of their favorite spots in all of Julian is this, Romano's. Let's go in, check it out.
How you doing? Welcome to Romano's.
How's it going?
I'm Joe.
Joe, Dan, nice to meet you.
Meet you too.
I love this place. It's like every business up here is like built in an old house.
Yeah, this is an old house actually. It's over 100 years old.
I love it. Well, my friends out at the Wolf Center said this is the spot in
Awesome.
Julian.
Yeah, you came to the right place, man.
Right on. Where do you want me to sit?
Yeah, we have a bar back here we're gonna seat you at.
All right, let's do the bar. This is your place. It's a family place. You tell me, what should I get?
So we're gonna start you with a spadini, which is an old family appetizer we have. My grandpa taught me how to make it.
Okay,
delicious. Cool. And for entree, we're gonna do chicken piccata, but the way the cook makes it is amazing.
All right, I'll take them both.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Got the spadini appetizer right here.
Spadini?
Yeah, so spadini means like little skewers. It means skewers in Italian. And what it is, it's this thin sliced beef filled with caramelized onions, tomatoes, and Romano cheese.
Look at the color. This is the chicken piccata?
Yeah, chicken piccata. So it's chicken breast cooked with butter, with capers, lemon juice, and garlic. Yeah.
I gotta go with this first. This one just sounds amazing.
Those are good. Those are my favorite.
Spadini.
Spadini, yeah.
Spadini. How could I have never heard of spadini growing up? I can't believe it took me all these years to try a spadini. This thing is amazing. Gotta save room for this chicken piccata. Here we go. The saltiness of the capers, the lemon, the butter, all of that on a nice pounded out chicken breast. Nailed it out of the park, Romano's. Great job. All right, I am stuffed. Time now to head back to the room, get a good night's rest, because in the morning, we're headed out to the California Wolf Center, meet those heroes, and of course, the amazing wolves. And you might want to stick around because they tell me in the morning, instead of a traditional breakfast here in Julian, you gotta have pie. See you then. All right, so after a good night's rest, got up early this morning, checking out this beautiful downtown Julian, and I gotta say, what a quaint town. Now, something they're known for is their pies. Like literally in a 1-block radius, I count 1, 2, 3, 4 pie joints. But we asked our heroes out at the California Wolf Center which one's the best, and they suggested Mom's Pies of Julian. So let's go inside, check it out, and try some pie.
Welcome.
Hi, what's your name?
Mom's Pie House. My name is Stella.
I'm Dan with Hungry Heroes. So what's up with the line?
They're here to get some pie. That's what they're here for.
Is it always like this?
Yes, always around this time. We always have a line out the door.
Well, I'm told you have the best pie in town.
Oh, we do.
Well, let's get in there and try some,
All right,
shall we?
let's get you a
Okay,
seat.
let's go. Which one's the best?
All of them, honestly.
I knew you'd say that. Could I maybe get
One of each?
One of each. She's a mind reader. One of each. I'll find a seat.
Okay, we'll
Thank you,
figure it
dear.
out.
The craft of making Mom's apple pie starts early in the morning before the sun comes up. Mom's crews use only the freshest apples and other fruits that are all locally grown right here in Julian. Chances are you'll find a slice you'll fall in love with.
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Oh my goodness.
So I got you a couple specials from here.
I like the number, lucky number 7. Give me about 10 minutes, a bib. I may need a wheelbarrow to cart me out. Have a doctor on standby, just in case. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's go with traditional first, shall we? They're known for their apples up here, so traditional apple first. All right, right off the bat, you can tell. Clean ingredients, not too much sugar, locally grown apples, and a really good light flaky crust. Love it. All right, let's try something a little more exotic for number 2. How about this bumbleberry thing? It is a berry overload, and it's very good. Let's go with pumpkin pie next and see how Ma's does. It's actually one of the best ones I've ever had. Here we go. Okay, wait a minute. We'll be over here alone. This is literally one of my favorite pies. This is still amazing. Now I see why there's a line outside. I'm tapping out. Well, after stuffing my face with pie for breakfast, it was time to ride out and meet up with our heroes at the California Wolf Center. And even though it's located just a couple miles out of town, actually getting to the center on a motorcycle, let's just say that can be a bit of a challenge. Good morning.
Good morning.
Whew, let me just say, that was one chilly ride up the mountain. Good morning, lady.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Dan. I'm Katie. I'm the Education and Marketing Coordinator here at the California Wolf Center.
Nice to meet you, Katie. We spoke on the phone.
Yes, we did. And this is Sierra.
Sierra, I'm the Wolf Care and Reintroduction Coordinator.
Nice to meet you, ladies.
Nice to meet you.
I know you got stuff planned for me before we get going because my mouth and my hands are barely working. Could we possibly go warm up?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go for that first. Coming up on this edition of Hungry Heroes, we'll learn about how the number of Mexican gray wolves had diminished to just 7 on the entire planet. But thanks to the California Wolf Center and others, there are now over 700. And they'll have me do a few chores around the ranch. Stick around, Hungry Heroes is just getting started.
This is Dave Mortosh, president of Mortosh Financial. Have you ever heard someone say that they would like to be in the market when it goes up, but safe in the bank when it goes down? In other words, they want safety and growth at the same time. Wouldn't we all? I've been blessed to do that for my clients for well over 2 decades. Well, you can have safety from market downturns, solid growth based on an index in the market, and you can keep your family out of probate court.
To get your complimentary consultation, call 877-GAINS-4U.
Welcome back to Hungry Heroes. On this episode, we're in the small town of Julian, California, in search of some good Italian and Mom's warm apple pie, but more importantly, heroes. As I'm about to discover, the conservationists that make up the California Wolf Center may not wear a uniform, but for nearly 40 years, they've been hard at work protecting Mexican gray wolves that were on the verge of extinction.
All right, so now that we've welcomed each other, I'm going to pass you off to our Executive Director, Teresa, to talk about what we're all about in our center.
Teresa, I'm Dan.
Dan, it's nice to meet you. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. All right, so we'll see you guys in a minute.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Okay.
All right.
Teresa, when I pulled in here, I couldn't help but notice this looked like a house. Did somebody live here years ago?
Yes, exactly. You're right. So Paul and Judy Kennis were the original founders, and they thought it'd be very interesting to bring out a couple of wolves. As the wolves matured, they realized that they couldn't handle all of that work on their own, and thus, eventually, California Wolf Center was born.
Did I read correctly? At one point, there were only like 7 Mexican gray wolves in existence?
That's correct. There were 7 left in the wild.
Crazy.
They brought them into captivity so that they could combine the genetics and start reintroducing the wild wolf.
Now we're in 2023. What are we up to total? Do we have
We're
a ballpark?
up to 160 back in the wild and a total of over 700 combined. Wow. So we're one of the most successful breeding facilities for the Mexican gray wolf.
I had read something about how important wolves are to our ecosystem, but also the food chain supply for not just other animals in the wild, but for humans.
Sure. So the wolf is really a keystone species. They're maintaining the ecosystem by not letting the elk and the deer overpopulate.
Teresa, I want to thank you. I learned so much from you. I would love to look around the place.
Sure. I
May
think
I?
Katie and Sierra are ready to take you out and put you to work.
Okay, I just need to change out of this. I don't think this really fits in on a ranch.
So we're going to take you on a nice tour of the center before we can put you to work.
Oh, of course. Everybody loves this free labor, I find.
We love it.
With this show.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look around the place first.
Yeah, so first, obviously, we have our lovely conservation center, the house, as we call it. So we've got our offices in there. It's where our gift shop is.
And this isn't a large staff. I mean, you guys manage a pretty big property and nearly, how many, 30 wolves? Is that what I read?
29.
29 wolves.
29 total.
With just a handful of people.
Exactly.
That's got to be a lot of work.
It's a big coordinated effort for sure.
So what's up first? We've got one of our exhibit habitats. This has the critically endangered Mexican gray wolves in here.
Oh, wow. There they are. Hi, guys.
Yeah, so this is Thor and Durango.
Oh, I love the names.
Thor's the one on the right here, and then Durango's on the left. They are brothers from the same litter, so they look pretty similar.
Thor looks bigger and older, and tougher, like a Greek god. So with dogs, we know they're territorial, they're lifting their legs on everything, like my dog at home. Are wolves similar? Are they very territorial?
Yes, they are, for sure. So a little bit of the behavior we saw walking in when Durango was kicking up at the dirt and he was urinating a little bit, that is all him letting other wolves in the area know that is this pack's territory.
Okay, let's go. What's next?
All right, come follow us. We'll head to our next exhibit habitat, and this is the pack of northwestern gray wolves. So we have 2 wolves in here. It's a mom and daughter, and our mom is actually right here, so you can head on in.
So this is Miss Yana right up front, our grayish lady. And then off to our far left over here, she's kind of beyond this bush right here. This is our blonde lady standing
I
up.
see her.
That is Poppy.
So now I notice a big difference. These wolves don't look like the last wolves in the first enclosure. I know there are different species, so what are we looking at?
So we are looking at the northwestern gray wolf subspecies. So these guys are known as the tallest subspecies of gray wolf in the world. They're native to the northwestern United States. They're the one everyone thinks of when they think of Yellowstone National Park.
Somebody's coming to check us out. Better tell the camera guys right behind you.
Miss Yana Bear right here. She's being nice and curious for you guys.
Sierra, you were telling me that, I mean, these are wild animals. They seem to act when they come up to humans, timid almost.
These guys are very scared of new things. They're scared of things that could potentially hurt them. And so unfortunately in human history that has been humans. And so with all of our wolves that we have on site, we do keep them as wild as possible. So they were not hand raised. They don't like us. They know that we bring them food, of course. They're very intelligent animals, but they don't see us as anything good. They're just like, okay, this person comes in, they clean up, and then they leave food and then they leave. We'll just leave them be, which is really awesome, especially since most of our wolves have the opportunity to go out into the wild. We want them to have that fear. We want them to stay as far away from people as possible and live their best lives out in the wild. Now that you've seen the majority of our property with our exhibit habitat,
Beautiful property,
oh, thank you.
Gorgeous.
We also have our food storage, and I guess it's time to put you to work.
This always happens on this show, you know? Okay, I'm ready. What do you want me to do?
All right, so we're gonna grab some food from our freezer. So we do once in a while get some deer donations. We can get some elk donations.
Okay.
But we do feed a lot of fish. We actually get fish donated from SeaWorld, so that's what we're gonna feed today.
There we go. Dinner is served. All right, who's getting fed?
We're going to Poppy and Yana.
Let's go. Now, I know we're gonna feed them, but I'm looking inside and they're here.
You are correct.
They don't like get out before we go in?
Yes, so we are open contact and free contact with the wolves because they've been kept as wild as possible. They want nothing to do with us.
Okay, so let's go. I want to feed them.
Oh, well, Dan, before we feed,
Uh-huh.
we have to clean.
Oh, Just give it a quick check. Okay, all clear.
You're gonna be nice and safe, I promise.
I mean, that's some pretty big poo.
It definitely is. I mean, obviously these guys are eating, like I said, big meals.
These guys are eating well.
Thank you.
They're eating well. You guys are doing good. Good job. Okay, I think I got most of the poo. Yep. What's next? Can I now feed them?
Not just quite yet. We gotta get the wheelbarrow for something special.
Something special.
So they got a donated rib, so they can eat the bones, the hide, and all that lovely meat.
Oh yeah, they cleaned this one up.
They definitely did.
Not some ribs you want to eat.
Definitely not.
But they liked them.
They did. It was really wonderful that we got that donation.
Anything else we need to clean up before we can feed them?
Nope. You've
pretty good.
done it.
Ew. No more ribs. Wow, look how close she is. It's time for sushi, boys and girls.
They definitely love their sushi. So we get just to dump it, and so since they're eating family style, it's all gonna go in one pile.
Okay, so we don't spread it around.
Nope. Fantastic.
So now typically, when are they gonna come eat? How do they eat?
So wolves are feast or famine. So let's say they go out on a hunt, they get a nice big elk. What they're gonna do is they're gonna gorge themselves on up to 20 pounds of meat in one sitting.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's because they don't know when they're getting their next meal.
I would assume since the food is out and they can smell it, we probably need to exit.
Well, they definitely want to eat. You can see that they're watching us.
They're getting a little closer too, a little more curious.
Yep, but they're still gonna stay away. This food is not enticing enough to potentially risk being around people.
Okay, well, I hate that I'm holding up dinner hour. Let's get out of their way.
Let's go.
You know, looking at these majestic and elusive creatures enjoy their frozen dinner, it's hard to imagine that because of poachers, we almost lost them forever. But thanks to the dedication of people like Sierra and Katie and the 1976 Endangered Species Act, we'll be able to enjoy their beauty for generations to come. All right, still to come on Hungry Heroes, the folks from the California Wolf Center take me to their favorite mountaintop barbecue joint. And then we'll find out what fuels these heroes' minds, bodies, and souls. Don't touch that dial, because we're going to have a howling good time.
Travis Mills Foundation. I've said many times this is the best run veterans charity I've seen. It simply changes vets' lives. It's a 1-week free retreat for vets and their families. The foundation helps injured vets and vets with PTS. My wife and I are matching $500,000 in donations for the 3rd straight year. Our goal is more monthly donors. It's the monthly donors that keep the charities running. Go to travismillsfoundation.org/Dave, travismillsfoundation.org/Dave.
So far on this edition, we found some of the best pie that Julian, California has to offer at Mom's Bakery. We loaded up on some traditional Italian cuisine at Romano's, and of course, we learned the mission of the heroes that make up the California Wolf Center. But why do they do what they do? I'm about to find out because it's lunchtime.
Where'd Dan go?
Hey, I'm right here. I was just finishing up my poop duty. Okay, I'm done. What's next?
So we were actually thinking about taking lunch. Do you want to join us at the Julian Beer Company?
I can always eat.
All right.
You guys driving?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
You fly, I buy. Let's
All
go.
right.
Come on, ladies, let's go.
Michael, your food's ready for you. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Julian Beer Company. Stoked to have you here today.
Nice to meet you. I'm Dan with Hungry Heroes.
Garrett, nice
Garrett,
to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Heck
brother.
yeah.
Thank you guys for hosting us. We hear this is the best barbecue in Julian.
It absolutely is. Yeah, you see how poppin' it is in here? It's amazing.
I would love a brisket sandwich.
Brisket sandwich. Awesome. And then another brisket sandwich? Yeah, absolutely.
You have like a meat plate?
Awesome. Heck yeah. All the meats. I got your order in. It's going to be out in the next 10 minutes, all right?
Wow, okay, that's quick.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate
Awesome,
it.
guys. Cheers.
Order up. Another one coming. Is that 63 then? Order up.
I got the goods, everyone. Look at this. That's the plethora of meat platter. That's a German-style potato salad. We got our house-made mac and cheese here, our house-made slaw.
Beautiful.
We also got our brisket sandwiches here, our half rack of ribs right there. We got our half chicken as well, the pork belly. That's one of my favorite items on the menu. So good. And the kielbasa, it's just a great snack. Goes along well with everything.
Beautiful. Garrett, thank you.
My pleasure.
The smokiness in this pork belly. You know, we have now for 2 years been traveling the country and meeting some amazing people doing great things out there. But this one's pretty unique because typically the heroes we profiled are doing things for other humans. This, in a way, as I've learned today from you guys, does help humans by saving these wolves. So Katie, how did you find the center? How many years ago? How long have you been involved?
I started as a volunteer in 2017. What was really special was I grew up in San Diego. I had realized that I had actually taken a school field trip to the Wolf Center back when I was in 7th grade. Wow. And so it was really special thinking, oh, I can go there, I can contribute to what I saw there when I went on that field trip. And I learned that the center was so much more than what I realized initially.
Yeah.
We have so many people that come on tour that come in with these misconceptions, and then at the end of the tour they go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I learned so much today. And that's kind of what makes Katie and I so into working with wolves and teaching people about wolves is you change so many minds and hearts, and it's a really amazing experience.
Yeah. What's your reaction, or how do you feel if someone would call you a hero? Because most people's perception of a hero nowadays, of course, is either in a Marvel movie or the fireman or the cop driving down the street in the squad car or something. But when you're out there saving animals, doing something for an entire ecosystem, to me, that's pretty heroic. So if I call you that, what's your reaction?
It's heartwarming. It's heartwarming to think that today, in today's world, we can see a job that no one really even thinks about, working in conservation, that we can make a difference.
I really believe that what we're doing so much, specifically with education, is a heroic thing, teaching people the wolf is not the big bad, anything.
Yes.
And really making people understand we have such important species here
at
where
home,
we live.
Yeah. And need to be protected.
Exactly.
You know, we've encroached so much on their habitat, in their backyard, that we kind of need to help them.
Yeah, and in the past, didn't really understand or didn't really realize that this is an ecosystem that needs to be in balance, and we have not made it balanced. But now, there's tons of people who are.
Sounds like you're living that old phrase that it's not work if you love what you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ladies. This was good, by the way. I loved
Isn't
it.
it delicious? So now we are kind of in our off-exhibit wolf area. So these are wolves that have a higher potential to be released out into the wild.
Can I just say, wow, on this view?
This view you never get used to it. So we have 4 packs of wolves back here, and some of them, like our pack that's on our other parcel of land, there's no one around.
Gotcha.
So with wolves, they have what is known as top-down control when it comes to an ecosystem. So they are an apex predator, top of the food chain. And so they're keeping the prey populations in check so that they don't explode. So with Yellowstone, that really showed us how important wolves are to their ecosystem because they started hunting the elk weren't overgrazing. And so a bunch of different species that had left Yellowstone because they couldn't live there anymore were able to return to Yellowstone because of one animal, and that's the wolf.
Ladies, I just want to thank you so much. I learned a lot here at the California Wolf Center today, how important these wolves are to our ecosystem, to our food supply, not only for us, but for the other animals out there. So I have a little surprise for you, if that's okay. Who doesn't like surprises?
We love surprises.
So thanks to a good buddy of mine and his family, the Sheeran family in North Carolina at Sheeran Farms, this is a check for $5,000.
Oh my gosh, thank you so
I don't know
much.
what that'll do. It'll buy some more fish and food and maybe another wolf. I don't know what it'll do, but I bet it'll help the mission.
So with our donors, they can donate to Name a Wolf. It is a $5,000 donation, and it is 1 year of veterinary care and food for that wolf.
Is there a particular one, or I just give you the name I want and then you pick one, or how does it?
We have a really awesome male wolf. His stud book number is M1783. He's a really large, handsome guy.
So he has no name yet?
He doesn't have a name yet.
You said he's handsome?
Very handsome.
Well, maybe we should name him Dan. No, I'm just kidding. Really, I got to think about this. How about since the show's Hungry Heroes, what if we call our wolf together Hero?
I think that's a really great name.
Camera guys, can I get a yes, no with the, we think Hero sounds good?
We think Hero sounds good.
Could I see Hero before I leave?
Absolutely.
Okay, where's he at?
He's gonna be right over here. This is Hero.
Beautiful. That's a good looking wolf. As I look back on my time at the California Wolf Center and watch my newly named wolf Hero do his laps, I gotta give props to the man above. For we are all truly God's creatures, each with a purpose that keeps this crazy world in balance. On the next Hungry Heroes, we're traveling to the Grand Canyon State, Arizona, more specifically Phoenix, to meet up with the heroes that help make up the national nonprofit organization, U.S. Vets. Their mission, to end veteran homelessness. So until then, keep the paint up and the rubber down. We'll see you.